It's time to go to Horsham District Footy, and I'll tell you what, these Japarut Rainbow Stormers celebrated 500 games of Hutto pretty well. I'll tell you what, the coach celebrated when they got over the line against Edenhope Apsley. And Scotty Driscoll joins us. Scotty, how are you?
Morning, Wayne. I'm doing pretty well now that last Saturday's over, because I was holding my breath for quite a while there as a spectator rather than as a player.
Yes, you were. It was a magnificent performance and a great game. We'll come to it in a minute, because first we'll go to the other matches. Just a quick comment. Harrow Balmoral continue their winning ways. Who's going to beat them, probably is the question. 21-18 to 4-4.
We'll beat them. Nah, I think I think they're clearly just getting the job done. Simon Close has popped up and kicked another 5 to add to a pretty substantial tally for the year. And interesting to see that they had a good spread of their best players. Jai Thompson featured in there, I think, getting himself just closer to that league medal. And Will Plush and Peter Stouty, who are really solid contributors week in, week out, they featured in their best players as well.
Yeah, going well they are. It was a really disappointing loss for the Cougars. I don't know what's happened with them, but they seem to be one really good game, then a couple of ordinary ones. The Swifts beat them 17-11 to 3-6 at Conniva. I just thought that they might go better than that.
Yeah, I think we both did. I thought the game might have been a little bit tighter. There's no doubt that when the Swifts are up and going, that they are a hard side to beat, and they really put pressure on the top sides. So probably not surprised that they had a win, but definitely surprised with the margin. But former student of mine, Zach Armour, was best on for them, and Scotty Carey just keeps popping up in those good games for them.
Certainly does. The veteran is in great form. Narajua Kwantong in great form, easily over Laharam 16-16 to 5-2. I'll get to this one. Rapanyups 13-17-95 to Nadimak 7-10-52. And I was chatting to Andrew Wiedemann on a Grains report this week, and he's one of the greats of the Rapanyup club, and he said he was very impressed with how his son and nephews are going, and very impressed with Rapanyup after that big premiership last year. And he was telling me that he reckons that they're going to come good come finals.
Yeah, look, Brayton Ison's best on 2 weeks in a row, so he's really rising to the challenge for him. The Wiedemann name is definitely featuring in the best players week in, week out with the spread that they have there. And last week was no different. And Mitch Gleeson, for an undersized ruckman, is doing a huge job in his mobility around the ground. Really, he plays as a fourth midfielder, and it's good to see them up and about after a slow start. So yeah, definitely a side coming into finals that is not to be taken lightly.
Well, I don't reckon. I think they could cause some real worries. And Taylor's Lake, not too many worries for Pimpernaya. 20 goals, 13 to 5-5. The Pimpernaya boys might get the tag of the best of the rest for their efforts. I'll get you to comment, though, on this game, because Japarut Rainbow 10-11 over Edenhope Apsley 8-9. It was a hard-fought win. They threw everything at you. They led it at half-time. It was equal at three-quarter time, but a 4-2 last quarter had the Storm coming home.
Yeah, absolutely. It was, Edenhope's best players, the McIntyre boys, Cleve Hughes, Jack Ryan, Ops, they're up, and they had their top line players really stand up and took the contest to us. And Antonio James and Trent Burgoyne, our sort of mid-season recruits, really have found their feet now and adjusted to the playing style. And we had really solid contributors across all lines. Lucas Edelston popped in, and from the back flank, and Dean Perkins, who has come up from Geelong as well, had a really good game out on the wing.
Yeah, good stuff from your side. Having a look through the grades, and the twos, we sort of hoped that they might, with a bit of depth coming back into that squad, they could get there. But Edenhope Apsley did them easily, 17-11 to 6-7. Unfortunately for your lads, they just couldn't get in the second half. They couldn't go with them.
No, the depth is an issue. Mick Preston, our trainer, actually pulled the boots on Fardo's 500th and got to play with his son Liam, who featured in the best. It was great to see. Hutto scored himself a goal in his 500th, and we were getting ready and could hear a rapturous applause, and he featured himself in the best players. So, yeah, disappointing result for the boys, but, some good personal efforts in there.
Yeah, Adam Schultz, a three-goal haul for the Plumber. He certainly gave his all for an old mate running around in the twos together. And having a look at the 17s here, it was a very interesting outcome because Japarut Rainbow got in there and had a go, but they were beaten by Eden Absley 13-14 to 5-4. Probably Will Fisher's had an outstanding year, but just not enough depth to go with his very, very good skills.
Yeah, and that's been the issue. They've got some injuries to some of their middle-aged players, and the boys who started to develop, and it really hurts at that under-17 level. But yeah, Will Fisher, Cooper Stasnowski, Caleb Trickgenza, and Marcel Badger, boys are consistently featuring the best players there. And will get his reward this weekend with the senior debut.
Oh, that's great to hear. And Josh Ryan 5 for Eden Absley. They had a terrific day for them because they were, apart from Taylor's Lake, who haven't played any games, they were the bottom side, beating Japarut Rainbow. Probably that's the disappointment for the 17s, losing a game that was a winnable one. For the round 30 match of the under 14s, the boys tried really hard, but Eden Absley 5-13-43 to 1-5-11. Eden Absley in this grade are fourth on the ladder. The Japarut Rainbow lads probably can't play finals now, but that was a pretty good effort. They, again, second half just couldn't go with them.
Yeah, and, the boys have, been working really hard. Wookie Cox and Aiden Gilligan have been doing a ripping job with them. Once again, I think just having a few bottom-age players at that under-14 level really can leave you somewhat exposed. And Eden Hope were just too good and ran away with it in the end.
Yeah, just got a few more lads on their list too, I noticed. So it just numbers that right through to 22 has been the difference there. I noticed that in the best players for Eden Absley was Marcus McIntyre. I wonder, just another chip off the older blocks. But Ryder Gould, Caleb Heinrich, very good, as you said, and Dusty Eckerman always goes hard at it with a goal in that game. So we hear that two blokes next week, two Cluggos, who we talked a little bit about, are going to be up at Rainbow, and both of them will be playing in a celebratory game for 200 representative efforts in the Japarut Rainbow Storm or Japarut Rainbow Lakers jumpers. So that's a great honour and good for a big crowd next week at Rainbow.
Yeah, absolutely. To celebrate Hutto last week, and then the two Ferguson brothers next week at Rainbows. But Ash at 37, 38, I don't know how he keeps just popping up and doing his thing. And Simon's just one of the most underrated defenders in the competition. He makes it ugly. He makes it a little bit messy, and that's what we love about him. And 200 games it's a huge achievement in local footy these days.
It certainly is, and he had that injury too. I think a whole season out with either a knee or a broken leg, I think, something like that. So it was a serious injury and he was desperate to get back for the club. So that's going to be great. And you've got the big games this week. Let's go to them because we've got some big selections here. Narrajua, Quantong and Nadimak. I think at Quantong the Bomber boys get home here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they'll be sort of just gearing up and tweaking this week, getting themselves ready for finals. That should be too good.
And Rupp will be too good for Laharam at Cameron Oval?
I think that will be the case. Yep. Once again, another side who will just be looking to get some confidence heading into the last couple of rounds.
Yep, big goal-kicking day too, I reckon, for their forwards. Swifts should beat Taylor's Lake, likewise.
Likewise, yep. Another, it's a good opportunity for these sides just to fine-tune. So I think we'll see Swifts get the job done.
I reckon Kalkee at home, the way Canaiva have been playing, I think their season's done and I think their recruits are gone, and I think that Kalkee get home with the win over the Cougars.
Yeah, I think so. Simon Hobbs was in the best players last week, just begun. So they've still got the quality out on the park. Hamish excel as well. So I think we'll find that their top line players will stand up against the Cougars this week.
And Eden Absley, this is a moment of truth for them. Down at home on Eden Hope, Harrow Balmoral, their local sort of rivalry here being that they're close near neighbours in the geographical sense. I would reckon that we get to see what the Saints have and how close they can get to the Kangaroos might be a measuring stick for the rest of the comp as we get to finals.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be looking at this game with real interest. Eden Hope have got a pretty tough run into finals. and Harrow will be looking at this game, similar to us, as an opportunity to really test ourselves against a quality opposition. So I think Harrow will be too strong, but we'll be really fascinated to see the result.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a big game, though, when Japarut Rainbow meet Pimpernio down there on the Tigerland ground. Can you get a win here and keep this winning run going in the senior game?
Yes, I think we can. We know from the last game against Pimpernio, they're the sort of side that will really pressure for 4 quarters, and we're expecting tomorrow to be no different. There's been a lot of changes. We've got 6 changes to our side, so another week with a different outlook. So yeah, I think we'll get the job done. We've got great confidence in our depth, and we welcome Will Fisher in for his first senior game as a 15-year-old. So hopefully the boys can make a memorable one for him.
Yeah, 15 and playing senior football. Has played, of course, interleague football too in the representative stuff for the Wimmera, and that is, or for the Horsham district, and that is a very, very good performance for him to come into that side. Well done to Will. Been following his career right from the early days of the very little boys running around for the under-14s. What about the reserves? They come up against Pimpernio's side, who I reckon might be tough. I think there might be a hard day coming up for your blokes.
Yeah, I think so too. With 6 changes into our side, and a lot of those due to unavailability, I think we'll see the reserves really struggle this week. But no doubt they'll still do their best for the 4 quarters.
And the under-17 boys are going to have a tough day. Pimpernio, top of the table. Oh, geez, it might get ugly.
Yeah, Pimpernio, renowned for having strong juniors, and that's been evident over the last couple of years. And I don't think it's going to be a great day for our 17s either.
I think the 14s might find it similar because Pimpernio are a very strong side in this age bracket. I reckon might just have a little bit too much talent for the boys in the under-14s, with Lenny Weir and his mates trying to do their best to get another win somewhere before the end of the season.
Yeah, the boys will be doing their best, but once again, it's a credit to Pimpernio. They've got their strong juniors, and we're seeing that now filter up into their senior ranks. And I think the 14 boys, they'll do their best, but they'll struggle as well.
Yeah, I think you've got it spot on there. Scott, great to have you on board, filling in for the great man, Peter Weir, who is still around those green fields of Ireland. And we'll look forward to having you back next week. I think he's still away, so we'll catch up with you then, and hopefully another win for the Japarut Rainbow Storm and a great debut for young Will Fisher.
Thanks, Wayne. Appreciate it.